Breaking news. Zelensky, the Ukrainian president, has sanctioned 108 individuals and 37 Russian organizations. In an effort to combat Russian terror and the kidnapping of Ukrainian children during the war, President Volodymyr Zelensky has sanctioned 108 individuals and 37 Russian organizations, including the Prime Minister and the Minister of Education. "We are increasing the pressure of our state onto them, and each of them must be held responsible for what they have done," he said in his nightly video address on Saturday, following the issuance of corresponding decrees with his signature by his office. Zelensky refrained from linking any particular persons or organizations to any specific transgressions. The decrees contained a variety of penalties, including 10-year sentences for individuals and 5-year sentences for non-profit organizations, one of which was translated into English as the Russian Children's Foundation. The list, according to Zelensky's speech, included those involved in the abduction and deportation of Ukrainian children from the occupied territory, and people who, in various ways, help Russian terror against Ukraine. There were some repeat offenders among the newly sanctioned individuals, among whom were numerous Russian citizens. Former Ukrainian Prime Minister Mykola Azarov and Minister of Education and Science Dmytro Tabachnik were among those who had their Ukrainian citizenship revoked in February. Among Azarov's prior punishments, those associated with former President Viktor Yanukovych included the freezing of his assets and property. After over 100 protesters were killed in Kyiv in 2014 due to a crackdown on street protests, the two men escaped to Russia from Ukraine. Leonid Pasechnik, whom Putin nominated head of Luhansk, the eastern Ukrainian region Russia seized in 2022, and Sergei Aksyonov, the Russian-installed leader of Crimea, were among the other individuals punished on Saturday. Some of the sanctioned Russian organizations have names or websites that suggest they deal with children. Kyiv sanctioned Children's Rights Commissioner Maria Lvova-Belova in October 2022. One sanctioned group, Kvartal Louis, matches an organization with a website that claims Lvova-Belova as its founder. Lvova-Belova and President Vladimir Putin were both named in an arrest warrant issued this month by the International Criminal Court in The Hague. The warrants accuse them of the war crime of deporting children from Ukraine. Sofia Lvova-Belova, the executive director of Kvartal Louis, was also sanctioned on Zelensky's new list. Maria Lvova-Belova, her older sister, has denied committing any war crimes and stated that children were taken to shelters to avoid violence. About 20,000 children have been forcibly taken to Russia or Russian-controlled territory without their parents' or guardians' permission, according to Kyiv. This, it says, constitutes a war crime that satisfies the UN treaty definition of genocide. According to research published on Thursday by Yale University, over 2,400 children, ranging in age from 6 to 17, were also taken to 13 different facilities in Belarus, a country that has close ties to Russia. Transports across Russian territory to its western neighbor were allegedly, ultimately coordinated, between Putin and Belarus leader Alexander Lukashenko, according to a report from a group that receives funding from the U.S. State Department. Sanctions with a variety of penalties, including the blocking of assets, trade, transit, leasing, removal of capital, land purchases, and other financial and economic activities, were upheld by Zelensky's decrees, which were a decision of the National Security and Defense Council.